And somebody asked me, they said, I like that last talk you did with your daughter, Mitch. I want you to do that again. And I'm like, okay. And so my story is I'm 47. I had a daughter when I was 23. Her name's Samantha. And Samantha's 24 now. And you go through that weird period where your baby is old enough to move away, and we went through a period where we didn't talk for a while. Right? Because mutual pissed offness. And so I kind of just contacted you out of the blue one day, didn't I? And just to let you know that I love you. And I cared about you. And this was my first time being a dad, and I didn't have a very good example about being a dad. So I was driving on I-10 in between Tallahassee and Jacksonville, Florida. And I was like, I really need to fix things with my daughter. And that's what I did. So I take these opportunities to talk with my baby girl now and tell her things that I have figured out. Okay, and there's a few things that I'm going to talk to you about today. Right on? Mm-hmm. Because you know I like to talk to you. I've always liked to tell you stories and things. But when I learn things, I can teach you how to do things. But if I can get you to think and remember some of these things that I come up with, and you know what? I'm going to put this on the internet, and as long as YouTube is around, you'll be able to see this, and you'll be like, you know what? My dad used to have some pretty good common sense and weird ass ways of looking at things, and he tried to always have a smile on his face. If you ever feel like you can't tell somebody I love you for whatever reason, that's wrong. Okay? Who would you say that to? Who would you say that to? Who would you know to say I love you to? Family. What about your really good friend?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so, but like a dude can't be like, man, I love you. Because we're going to fag, you know, and stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's that negativity, right? And what happens to us at a young age is we have things happen to us that hurt our feelings. You told me you're 3 years old, 4 years old, and you didn't get to go on the Easter egg hunt.
Because some kid
cut in front of you in line, and you reacted and you kicked him because you're my daughter. We don't bullshit when it comes to stuff like Easter egg hunts.
No,
and
I wanted to be honest.
You went over there and you put the little smack down on a little black kid, and that lady didn't like it, and you wound up getting in trouble, and you did not get to go on the Easter egg hunt.
No, I had to go nap.
And you had to go to nap time, and everybody else got to go Easter egg hunt. She did not.
Yep.
And that's one of those things that you'll be pissed off about for a long time, because that's traumatic when you're a kid.
Yeah, I was stuck in there with a damn teacher.
And it's a huge fucking event. Mm-hmm. It's like missing out on Christmas, for real.
Yes.
I know.
No, like, for real,
I
yeah.
understand. And you carry that with you. I say, one of those things I say is it's another link in the chain. Right? And you don't want it, but you have it, right? And you know what, though? It was wrong of that lady to do that. It was. And you can be pissed off about it. I think you are well within your right to be pissed off about that. I'd still be pissed off about it. People do things to me. But what you got to understand is she doesn't remember doing that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
That is the furthest thing from her mind. So when you do that, when you let somebody dwell on you, in your mind, you're giving them a lot of power that they don't even know they have over you. Because it occupies your time. It occupies your mind. And you spend your life, that precious, finite time that you have, on them. And these are lessons that I've learned. But I don't want you to do that. That's why I'm trying to give you 23 years. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you 23 years where I'm not pissed off at Keisha or whatever her name was at Norwood Preschool that didn't let you go on the Easter egg hunt when everybody else did. Okay? But I understand why you're mad. I absolutely do. It's a fucking disappointment. And people tell you, like, get over it. That's what Carolyn would say. When I talk about a mental scar to my mother. Get over it. Okay, now you know why I don't speak with her very much. So, I don't want our relationship to ever be like that. My grandfather on my mother's side, they never talked. Never. And I was little. And it was just kind of like they ignored each other when they were around. And that was it. And my grandfather loved me, but he didn't know how to express it. But he always like wanted to give me things and teach me things and show me things. And he repaired watches. He repaired clocks. When he was 16 years old, 16, he owned his own clock repair business that he started when he was 14 in the corner of a garage in Cambridge, New York. This is 1932. And he did that. And he was flown to Boston, Massachusetts to fix a clock tower in the middle of Boston when he was 16 years old because they could not find somebody to fix that. And there's newspaper articles about it. Rollins Jordan. So he did that. He went to World War II. He had screwed his hand up, his left hand. Now, I remember him, he's already had a stroke, so his left hand didn't work anyway. And he always had to, like, it was the weirdest way he worked on things, because he would pry something in his left hand, and then he would be using his right hand like that to fix watches. Tiny shit. But the way he held things. But he'd done that his whole fucking life. And that's what he loved doing. That and Miller Genuine Draft. And I think he smoked Winston's. He died when I was in 8th grade. And he did not take shit. He got into it with Ed one time. And I was standing right there, and it was like, I was always grounded. Always. Like, I'd say 70% of my youth I was grounded. And we were at Granny's house. And we were supposed to eat dinner over there. And I was grounded, meaning I wasn't supposed to go outside at all. I couldn't leave the house. And that counted for when we went over there too, right? So we go over there for dinner, and we go outside, and my grandfather was like, "Come on, big boy, I'm going to take you outside." And I was like, "I can't go outside." He said, "Why not?" And I was like, "Because I'm grounded. I'm not supposed to go outside." And he says, "Come on to the car with me." And he always liked to give me these little Hostess fruitcakes. That, like, he would always pick those up and have them in the car for me. When I go there, he'd always give me one. And that was cool as shit. And he gave me a red robe when I was like 6 or 7 years old. That's the only things I remember getting from him. But we go in the house, or he asked me what's going to happen. What's going to happen? And I said, I'm going to get in trouble with him. And I pointed at Ed. And he was like, he goes in there, and he said, "Why can't the boy go outside to the car? Because he's on punishment right now." And it was like fingers and faces and shit. And I was like, oh shit. I was 7. I was sitting there looking at it like, oh fuck, here we go. And we wound up like, all right, let's go. And we all had to leave. And woo, that shit got scary, man. And then they're like telling me it's not my fault. I was like, no, I know it ain't my fault. Y'all motherfuckers talking about you can't go outside to the car. Oh man, that was crazy. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about him. I remembered him. And I loved him. A lot of people didn't like him, but he was always cool to me. So, you told me one time, you said, the thing that gets me is I'm just piloting this. Right? Talking about the mind over the body. You're piloting a bone mech with meat shields. I read that in a meme today. Okay. And what I realized is the human personality is the worst thing. The human personality, the mind has complete fucking shits it can't give over the body. The mind does not give a shit about the body. The mind is a selfish fuck. Because the mind loves the way that fucking cheeseburger feels in your mouth and how it squishes in your fingers. And how you smell that shit. Right? The mind doesn't like to turn around and see that my ass is too big either. Right? The mind wants to have all these cake and eat it too type things. And another thing is the human personality will say, damn that problem. I wish somebody would do something about that. Right? I have memes to go look at.
Yep.
The mind does that shit, doesn't it? The body doesn't do that shit. No, the body waits. See, this is what happens when you start to age. The mind's like, oh, wait a minute. I want to keep piloting this thing. And it's bitching when I fuck with it. So I need to fix it. And this is why all about fucking fruit smoothies and all kinds of shit, but for real, and I have been doing it for a long time now. Starts talking to you and letting you know, this knee hurts. Oh shit, cracker, it got cold now, your fingers don't want to bend. And you look in the damn mirror and you see your hair starting to get thin. I'm gonna tell you right now, some people are gonna smoke another cigarette and be like, yeah, well, what can you do about it? You know? I'm not gonna be like that. I am stomping on the fucking brakes. I'm holding the goddamn pedal down. I'm locking the wheels up. I'm having like 900 times my required vitamin C every day, eating all the fruits and vegetables and all the healthy stuff that I'm eating. And we have switched over to a much more vegetarian style diet. And that keeps keeps my motor running, keeps me happy. And I realized a big thing. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you're young. And you know, when I was young, I was like, soda, soda, I don't want to drink a soda, soda. I was also very, very angry. Very, very short fuse. Why? Because I was literally a powder keg of sugar that was ready to, you know, I had to do something with all that doggone sugar in me, right? So I just have outbursts and angry things, and people were like, you need to calm down. Well, always jacked up on sugar and caffeine. Couldn't really calm down. But I've done that. On my infinite voyage of self-improvement, that is one thing I've done, and switched myself to about 98% water is all I have, with some skim milk that I mix in with fruit. And that's about it, right? Had a sweet tea with dinner tonight, but I took Mom out to dinner, so that you got to do something with it, right? You get all that energy. So I gave it up. I gave up all that sugar, and instantly I have a much longer fuse, and I feel much better. And I don't get the aches and pains that I used to get. Man, I used to get a lot of aches and pains. Good Lord. I'm like 36, 38 years old, and I'm like, this damn arm hurts. Of course, I busted my ass for a living, too. But I'd have these incredibly intense pains that would just kind of, I call them flash pains, they just kind of, and they're gone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with those.
Crazy. So, yeah, I quit the sugar. And now I'm kind of phasing out meat too. I met some people. I went up to the mountains and I did a battery replacement for a couple. He was 95 and his wife was 93. And they were both sitting there hobbling around their little mountaintop house. I mean, what is the age where it's just like, okay, any second I can die? When does that happen? Because it's just like, alright, something's going to pop and I'm going to fall down, you know? When does, God, but they're just happy. It seems scary to me. But at the same time, your mind doesn't want to let go of this vehicle that it's got. It doesn't want the light to go out, you know? So that selfish mind is doing everything it can now to keep it alive, to keep it in good condition, to make sure the oil stays changed and the mufflers stay cleaned out, if you know what I mean. So remember that over that one of that sugar, you know, because it tastes good, it feels good, it makes your brain feel good, doesn't it? Makes you want to have some more of that damn sugar, makes you want to have some more of that flavor. You'd be cool as shit with that flavor, wouldn't you? No, you're not cool, man. I remember advertising had such a huge influence. I remember being 3 and I wanted to chew bubblegum so I would be cool. Because I had seen that in commercials. And I wanted to drink Coca-Cola so I would be cool. I was 3 years old wanting to be cool.
That's why I watch YouTube.
And so let's look at what our influences are. What people tell us, right? And it all comes down to how much power we're going to give those people over us. You know, there's a lot of people that look at celebrities and they're like, oh my God, that's that person. They don't say, oh yeah, that's a person. You've got people on a border fence right now, right? That came up. Apparently it was some big parade or convoy of people, right? And they came up from Central America and they worked their way northward, right? And then they finally got to the United States and they were like, bang, 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 let us in. And we're in there like the 3 little pigs, you know, right? Is that what's going on? And then we're going out and we're rounding up people and we're taking them and we're kicking them out. Is that what we're doing right now?
Well, we're putting them in big camps before we kick them out, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So, why aren't we doing that with Canada?
That's what everyone.
They legalize marijuana. They could be importing drugs into the country.
I think that's one of the reasons that Michigan had to legalize so quickly, because you can go right across the Great Lakes undetected into out of Canada. No problem. There's nobody to stop you.
Well, okay. So, there's nobody to stop you in Canada. Only you can stop marijuana trafficking.
I mean, if you go across the Great Lakes, straight across, there's no border. There's nobody that's gonna be like, let me see your passport. You just end up on the shore in Canada.
But you see what I'm saying, right?
There's also places where you can go walking through trails and end up in Canada, and you're like,
oh yeah, there's got to be like little country highways that you can just be like, you know, you know, I'm not transporting this across the line, and you just throw the bale like 10 feet. Oh look, I found a bale of marijuana in North America. Wow. Oh yeah. So why aren't we doing this with Canada? Because we were supposed to be like hitting the camera, making the camera jiggle, but we were also supposed to be having a war on drugs, right?
mm-hmm.
And we closed. I heard once that we closed the border because there was too much marijuana coming. So we need to build a border on the north, but that's not right.
It's not marijuana they're concerned about at all. If it were, why would they be legalizing it in some of the states? Because then you just have people coming from Colorado driving halfway across the country, which is way quicker than going from Mexico. So you can't blame drug trafficking, at least not marijuana drug trafficking.
Right. Meth is a thing, though.
Or opioids.
And yeah, I'm guessing they can get into opioids down there, and I guess cocaine's still a thing.
Very much so, yeah.
You know, meth is the drug of fashion right now. I don't even want to know what it could be later. God, just people come up with some stupid shit. You know, smoke weed. Weed's fine. You know, I'm sure Indians were peace piping with some weed, but I don't think they were cooking rock. You know.
No, the craziest they got was peyote.
They probably got some psilocybin mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, eat the big trip shrooms, man. I don't think I'll ever do that again. I did that a few times, not a bunch, but I did that a few times.
No, I never did that.
and it's and intense hallucinations just aren't my thing. It's not fun, not to me anyway. So the body is slave to the mind who doesn't give a shit about it. Right? So when you learn that your mind is such a jerk when it comes to your body and you start taking care of yourself, I guess you've gained a little wisdom there.
Well, it's more your mind realizing that it's being a jerk to you.
Yeah. It's reckless. Like I'm in a demolition derby with my lifetime. With my limited amount of time.
It's like realizing you ripped $1 or something and try to put it back together without anybody being able to tell it's messed up.
Well, you know, I've told people before, I've said, you know, I've been repaired. You know?
Yeah.
But if you ever notice, if you look at something that's been repaired, you can always kind of see where the repair was done. And people get that in their personalities as well. There's just some things that you just don't get over. And a lot of people think that they're mad at themselves. They don't realize it. But that you can tell because they don't have that self-esteem. Right? They have a very low self-esteem. They don't think that they're worth whatever. Okay? But you see people that come from Central America northward, and they're like, we want to go into the United States because we want to have a shot at busting our asses, right? And you can say whatever you want to about Hispanic folks. You can go ahead and say whatever you want. Those are some hard-working people. I don't give a damn.
Oh.
I have never in my life seen some people busting their asses in the fucking sun, 104 degrees in July, and up there shingling a roof.
The thing is, they immigrated from somewhere that was way worse.
Yeah, they had no opportunity where they were.
Mm-hmm.
And they are clinching the opportunities they come to here.
And the people that are complaining about them being here are the same people that absolutely can't even fathom what they went through.
And no, they can't. Trump has no idea. But the thing is, see, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm woke. But if somebody has a different skin color than me, and they don't speak the same language as me, are you fucking kidding me? They don't have any more or any less value than me. They are the same. Because if they were getting ready to die, they would be begging. If I was getting ready to die, I'd be begging. You know? And the one fucking thing that every one of us keeps is we all want to stay alive. Right? We want to stay alive.
Except Epstein.
Except Epstein. That's my daughter. That is my baby girl. She will just, yeah, I love her. She is one of my most favoriteest people in the whole wide fucking world. Except Epstein. So if you look, we have a president, and I know, man, Trump is like the middle star of the bingo board. He is. Cracking on him is like, that's the easy, the Trump me. I hope to hell nothing bad military happens. So when he's gone, we can all be like laughing our asses off that we made it through that shit. You know? A lot of people love him because he doesn't bullshit. I'm glad that the economy is going as good as it is. I do not like the representative of my country making a dumbass out of himself, though.
Yeah, and the way that he's treating, like,
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we're having fun with him. 76.1. That's why we're having fun with him on that. I don't hate him. I think he does a great job with like running the whatever he is influencing for the economy to be doing well.
At least he's not a Clinton.
Well, I mean that Clinton's good, Lord, man.
At least he's not.
Stinks on them like fucking molasses, dude. It's just fucking on them, and you can't wipe it off.
Anybody but a Clinton.
Anybody but a Clinton.
Literally anybody but a Clinton. Do not put a Clinton in office. I don't care if it's his great-great-great-grandson 4 times removed. Don't you put him in office.
Oh, Billy Boy Clinton. So we were talking about the mind being just a fucking sadistic asshole over the body. And we talk about things that pissed us off when we were little. And it's okay to be pissed off about it. It is. But we want to focus that, right? When you were growing up, I used to do things for Christmas. Right? What did I call that shit?
Saw Christmas?
Saw fucking Christmas. And I did Saw Christmas. And it was like some bullshit kind of funny torture shit Dad would put you through, but you get extra presents on Christmas Eve if you did it, which is usually about $100 worth of shit, maybe some cash on top of that. So I would make Samantha and her mother do these crazy ass competitions. But why do you think I did that?
Good memories.
Huh?
Good memories.
Good memories to cover up the bad ones, right? Right? So when I remember how shitty Christmas was at my house growing up, because it was fucking sucked, dude. Right? But I would, I would calm down, think about, like, stuff I do for you and your mom, and the time I put I put your mom's cruise reservation in the 29th box.
Mm-hmm.
that I Russian dolls.
The box and box,
and I had to do them, label them backwards. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fuck. It took me 2.5 hours to wrap that for cruise reservations.
I believe it.
That was fucking fun, though. But I did that because when I was a kid, no, not with fucking Ed. Nothing could be happy with Ed. He fucking hated happiness. It was so beaten out of him. And his mother was abusive to him. And his father was a musician. So his father was always on the road. And his mother was an alcoholic. Stayed at home and beat the shit out of him. So I understand. I empathize. But at the same time, there's no need to do things to me or to anyone that he did to me. And you're a grown man, 40-some fucking years old. You don't grab a kid by the hair on top of his head and fucking punch him inside of the fucking head. You don't do that. So, and I think it's fine that people do some things But see, I give him so much power there. Because he doesn't remember doing that. He's like 80 fucking 1 years old. And just to give him that power and be like, yeah, I'm always going to remember that. That's always going to affect me. Right? Being 12 years old. Dealing with that shit. Going to school. You notice like my Eustachius tube on the left side of my head doesn't drain right. I've always got like earaches and shit. It always gets fucked up. Eustachius tube, because that motherfucker will ball his fist up and hit me. And I was like, God damn. 12 years old, you want to die when that shit's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do? I tell you about it, for one thing, so you don't think I was ever such a damn douche. And I was like, okay, grab the back of the chair. And you be like, ah. And I'll be like, pah. Not even hard, but you would be so freaked out and crying just from the ceremony of grabbing the chair. I never wanted to hurt you. I just wanted to be like, give you a little intensity, you know what I mean? So you remember shit. That's why I was like, I hated like the thought of hitting you. That's why I started making you do push-ups. Because I get your attention, change your attitude, and I don't have to touch you or hurt you. Because I told your mom, I said, I don't ever want to hit her because I don't want to teach her it's okay for a man to hit her.
Right.
You know? So, there's things I thought about, and I'd get mad with you. And I'd usually just yell at you. Right? And sometimes I'd say mean things, but, you know, sometimes I'd, like, try to buy my way out of fucking up, too, you know. I'd feel bad when it get you something or whatever. But, I don't know. I think the way that we can talk to each other now is something that a lot of fathers and daughters don't have. And it's cool to get pissed off at people. Because people are stupid. Their fucking minds are selfish as fuck over anything. And they want it. They can't help it. It's just the way we are. It's part of our self-preservation. I mean, you can say you want to give to all this shit and all that shit. But no, really. As long as I have 99% of what I came here with. You know? What people want. They want the all for the nothing. And they want everything to change, but they don't want to fucking get up and do anything about it. What if there was a church that just got together on Sundays and met at a location, and for 2 hours they picked up the trash there? Because I know there's a lot of, like, just adopt a highway guys, and maybe some, you know, communities. But what if there was, like, not like a Scientology whatever, but like an Earth church, you know? Like we literally worship the Earth, but in a modern way.
Like a druidic kind of.
Yeah, I guess, would it be a druidic thing? Now we have, you know, basically an apple orchard on our property, right? We have and pears, yeah, and pear trees everywhere. And I do a little patch gardening, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing big and sprawled out just because I don't have the room for it. But I do have some watermelons that are still going, some tomatoes. Everything else is, all the corn's already done. So, we kind of do that thing around here, right? And I work for a company that recycles hazardous materials, so that's always good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not being so selfish over the over the earth.
I'm trying.
Because we're going to try to make the earth last like we want this body to last, right? So maybe the earth gets in its 40s and it's like, oh shit, hold on. That ocean's starting to turn a little gray. We need to fix that shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You tired of listening to me?
You're just tired.
Oh yeah, you just tired. Alright, so we're going to make that a wrap.